Do you feel lost or hurt when someone ignores you? It's natural to feel this way, especially when it's someone you value. But what if you could approach this situation as an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser? In Stoicism, challenges like this are not setbacks but tests for our character. Let's explore 8 steps to handle being ignored, rooted in Stoic wisdom. By following these steps, you can reclaim your inner peace and turn this experience into a lesson in resilience and self-control. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments. I subscribed, I'd love to hear from you. Now, let's begin. Step 1. Reflect before reacting. Before jumping to conclusions, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, are they really ignoring me? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely observed that it's not events themselves that trouble us, but our judgments about them. This means the way we perceive a situation can often amplify our distress. Think about it. How many times have you assumed the worst, only to later discover you were mistaken? Perhaps they're busy, caught up in their own challenges, or simply unaware of how their actions come across. People have their own lives and struggles, and not everything revolves around us. What if their silence isn't about ignoring you, but about their need for space or time to think? Instead of reacting emotionally, feeling hurt, angry, or rejected, try to step back. Take a breath and reflect. Ask yourself, am I interpreting this situation based on reality or on my own insecurities? A practical way to do this is to challenge your assumptions. Write down what you know versus what you're assuming. For example, what you know: they haven't replied to your last 2 messages. What you assume: they're ignoring me because they don't care. Once you separate facts from feelings, you may realize there's no solid evidence for your assumption. This reflection doesn't just help you see the situation clearly, it gives you the emotional distance to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The Stoics remind us that most of what troubles us lies in our own interpretation of events, not the events themselves. By reflecting before reacting, you reclaim your peace of mind and create space for understanding. After all, isn't it better to respond with calm wisdom than to spiral into unnecessary worry? Step 2. Respect their space. If you're certain they're avoiding you, the next step is to give them the space they seem to need. As Marcus Aurelius wisely reminds us, do not disturb yourself by desiring to direct others' actions. It's natural to want answers or to fix the situation immediately, but clinging or pushing for explanations often has the opposite effect. It drives people further away. Think of it like trying to hold on to sand. The tighter your grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Respecting their space doesn't mean you're weak or indifferent. On the contrary, it shows strength and self-control. It's about honoring their autonomy while also demonstrating your ability to remain composed. After all, everyone has moments when they need to step back, reflect, or process their feelings without interference. This isn't about playing games or manipulating them into coming back. It's about practicing patience and trust. Trust that giving them space allows both of you to gain clarity. Trust that if the relationship holds value to them, they'll reach out when they're ready. While you wait, remind yourself of this: their need for space isn't a reflection of your worth. It's simply their current state. By respecting their boundaries, you're not only honoring their needs, but also maintaining your own dignity and emotional stability. Marcus Aurelius believed in focusing on what we can control, and in this situation, that means controlling your response, not their actions. By stepping back and giving them space, you practice wisdom, patience, and respect, the hallmarks of a truly Stoic mindset. Step 3. Avoid neediness. When someone finally responds after ignoring you, it's tempting to reach out immediately, pouring out your feelings or eagerly welcoming their attention. But Stoicism teaches us to temper our impulses, no matter how strong they may feel in the moment. Practicing self-control in this situation sends a powerful message not just to them, but to yourself. Your sense of worth does not hinge on their acknowledgement. A reply, while welcome, doesn't define your value or your happiness. Pause before you respond, not to play games, but as an act of personal restraint. This pause allows you to check your emotions and respond with intention rather than desperation. It shows that you value your peace of mind more than the fleeting satisfaction of instant communication. Consider the words of Seneca: true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. By not rushing to reply, you're affirming that your joy and contentment are not tied to the actions or approval of others. You are steady, unshaken by the ebb and flow of their attention. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about maintaining your dignity and self-respect. When you respond from a place of calm self-assurance, you subtly communicate that while you value the connection, you're not dependent on it for your sense of self. Remember, the Stoic way is to focus on what's within your control. You can't force someone to value or prioritize you, but you can choose to value yourself enough to avoid chasing validation. In this balance lies the strength of a Stoic mindset: steady, composed, and self-reliant. Step 4. Focus on what you control. When someone ignores you, it's natural to feel a pang of frustration or even hurt. The mind begins to spin scenarios, questioning why they've pulled away or what you might have done wrong. But the Stoic approach offers a different path, one that replaces helpless frustration with empowered focus. As Epictetus wisely advises, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. In this situation, your response is what matters most. Instead of fixating on the actions of the other person, something entirely beyond your control, turn your attention inward. Channel your energy into things that bring value and joy to your life. Dive into a hobby you've been neglecting, take a walk in nature, or dedicate time to fitness, which strengthens both body and mind. Reconnect with friends or family members who uplift and inspire you. These choices reaffirm that your sense of happiness and purpose is rooted in your own actions, not in the unpredictable behavior of others. This shift in focus doesn't just help you feel better, it also sends a powerful, unspoken message. You're showing yourself and perhaps them that your well-being isn't tethered to anyone else's attention or approval. You thrive independently, finding contentment in the richness of your own life. By committing to this practice, you cultivate resilience and self-reliance. You become a living example of Marcus Aurelius' wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength no matter how others behave. You remain centered, moving forward with purpose and dignity. Step 5. Be open to new connections. The Stoic path does not advocate retreating into isolation when faced with rejection or neglect. Instead, it encourages expansion, exploring the possibilities life continues to offer. As Seneca aptly said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Often, our distress comes from dwelling too much on what has happened, instead of opening ourselves to what could be. When someone distances themselves, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-doubt, questioning your value or worth. But the truth is, your worth isn't determined by any single relationship. By stepping outside the shadow of one strained connection, you can embrace opportunities to meet new people or deepen bonds with others who bring positivity into your life. Consider this an invitation to grow your world. Reach out to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Join a community that aligns with your interests, or try a new activity where you can meet like-minded individuals. These moments of connection remind you of the vast web of relationships and possibilities that life holds. Furthermore, by seeking out new connections, you remind yourself and others that you're not dependent on the attention or validation of one individual. You are a dynamic and evolving person, capable of creating joy and growth in unexpected places. Remember Marcus Aurelius' guidance: the universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. Adopting this mindset shifts your focus from what you've lost to the endless potential of what you can gain. Each new connection is a chance to discover more about yourself and the world, proving that fulfillment comes not from clinging but from embracing life's flow. Step 6. Have honest communication. When someone's behavior continues to puzzle you, the Stoic approach urges you to seek clarity through honest and respectful dialogue. Rather than letting assumptions fester, engage in a calm conversation. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, speak the truth as you see it, but with kindness. Begin with an open-ended question that invites dialogue without placing blame. For instance, you might say, "I've noticed some distance between us lately. Has something been on your mind?" This approach shows genuine care and curiosity, creating a space where the other person can share their perspective without feeling attacked. Stoicism emphasizes temperance, so keep your emotions in check during the conversation. If their response is defensive, dismissive, or not what you hoped for, don't take it personally. Remember, their words and actions are theirs to own, not yours to control. What matters is that you've honored your principles by expressing yourself authentically and respectfully. This step is not about securing a particular outcome or forcing a resolution. It's about seeking understanding and demonstrating your willingness to address the situation maturely. By doing so, you act with integrity, regardless of the other person's reaction. Ultimately, if the dialogue doesn't bring clarity or change, you can walk away knowing you've done your part. As the Stoics teach, peace comes not from controlling others, but from staying true to your values. Step 7. Be willing to walk away. In some situations, the wisest course of action is to step back and distance yourself. Letting go is not a defeat, rather, it is an act of profound self-respect. When someone consistently ignores or disrespects your value, it's a clear sign that your energy and focus would be better spent elsewhere. This decision to walk away is a powerful reminder that your peace and fulfillment are not dependent on others. As Stoicism teaches, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. True strength lies in finding your balance within, regardless of external circumstances. By choosing to walk away, you are affirming your self-worth. You recognize that your happiness is not something to be given or withheld by anyone else. It's an internal state that no one can take from you unless you allow it. Stoicism calls on us to focus on cultivating an inner sense of contentment, knowing that we are whole on our own. This isn't about anger or resentment, it's about choosing to prioritize your well-being and peace of mind. When you walk away, you take back your power and redirect your energy toward growth, not towards the draining cycle of unreciprocated efforts. You are not bound to anyone who does not recognize or appreciate your worth. Step 8. Cultivate inner joy. At the end of the day, your happiness lies within your control. The Stoics teach that true contentment is found not in external circumstances or others' actions, but in living in harmony with your own values. Even when others disappoint us, we have the power to shape our own sense of joy through virtue and self-mastery. It's easy to let someone's behavior cloud your sense of purpose, but Stoicism urges us to stay grounded in what truly matters. Focus on the things you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your mindset. Celebrate your personal growth and keep moving toward your goals. In doing so, you cultivate an inner peace that no one can disrupt. Remember, the right people will naturally gravitate toward you when you live authentically and with purpose. You don't need to chase others for validation or approval. As Marcus Aurelius advised, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you align yourself with your values and cultivate joy from within, the people who truly appreciate you will be drawn to your strength and serenity. Final thoughts. This isn't about playing games or manipulating others. It's about staying grounded in your values and taking life's challenges as opportunities for growth. People's actions often reflect their own struggles, not your worth. By focusing on yourself and practicing resilience, you'll build a foundation of inner peace that no one can shake. Now, let us know in the comments, how do you usually handle being ignored? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the recommended videos for more Stoic insights. Thanks for watching.